We often wonder what would happen if we fell into a black hole. However, there is a much more interesting object in space that we will talk about today. And let's imagine that you fell into it. It's a highly magnetized rotating neutron star that emits an intense beam of radiation. It's located in the constellation of Aquila and was discovered by William Herschel in 1802. The star is one of the brightest in the night sky, shining nearly 900 times brighter than our Sun. It can be seen with the naked eye as a faint point of light. The star is approximately 6,400 light-years away from Earth. The name WR102 was given to this star because it was the 102nd object to be catalogued by Friedrich Georg Wilhelm von Struve in his star catalogue. If you decided to take a trip to this star, then get ready for a huge disappointment. No, this is not the place that you would like to swim and have a good time. Although WR102 is a very beautiful object, it is also very dangerous. This star consists mainly of a plasma shell. Plasma is a superheated matter that is found in abundance in outer space. Our Sun also consists of plasma. Plasma is a gas-like substance that is electrically charged, and magnetic fields have a strong effect on it. This property of plasma makes it possible for a star to generate powerful jets of matter at incredible speeds. Some jets reach nearly half the speed of light. These jets are emitted from the magnetic poles of the star and extend thousands of light-years into space. Jets are not the only weapon of this star. WR102 also emits powerful X-ray and gamma-ray bursts. Once you find yourself near this star, you will immediately feel the effects of stellar winds. Stellar winds are streams of charged particles that flow from the surface of the star into outer space. It should be noted that these particles move at tremendous speeds, reaching up to 10,000 kilometers per second. If you feel that you're too close to the star and want to quickly move away from it, then know that this is simply impossible. The thing is that the stellar wind creates a dense shell around the star, which is called the stellar corona. The temperature of the corona can reach millions of degrees. All this is due to the high speed of the stellar wind. As the stellar wind particles collide with each other, they heat up. However, all of the above is just a small part of what you will face if you fall into this star. Having penetrated the stellar corona, you will find yourself in the accretion disk. An accretion disk is a structure that forms around a compact object in space, such as a neutron star or a black hole. The matter that makes up the accretion disk is heated to millions of degrees and emits a huge amount of energy. If you look at the accretion disk from above, it will seem to you as if something resembling a rainbow is shining brightly. But don't be fooled by its beauty. If you find yourself in this place, then you will immediately notice that the matter around you is moving at tremendous speed. The thing is that the matter in the accretion disk moves at a speed close to the speed of light. The gravitational forces that arise in this case are so great that they can tear apart any object, even a spaceship. And after that, your atoms will be the food for WR102. The star attracts matter from neighboring space, forming a kind of funnel. The funnel's inner edge is located very close to the stellar corona. The matter that falls into the star heats up to billions of degrees and emits huge bursts of radiation. Bursts of radiation are so powerful that they can be observed even from Earth. Scientists use them to study WR102. As you have probably already realized, this star is very dangerous not only for living organisms, but also for spaceships. However, if you have a spacesuit that protects you from high temperatures, radiation, and pressure, then you can stay in this place for some time. Of course, this will only be possible if you do not have a metal detector on your body. The fact is that the magnetosphere of the star is so strong that it can affect the operation of electronic equipment. But all of this is just the beginning. If you find yourself near the magnetic poles of WR102, then you will experience the full power of stellar jets. They literally tear apart everything that gets in their way. But even this is not the worst that can happen to you. The most terrible and deadly thing is to be at the focus of the star's radiation beam. The radiation beam is an intense flow of particles that is emitted from the magnetic poles of the star. If you get into it, you will be immediately hit by a huge number of high-energy photons. They will literally tear apart your molecules, turning you into plasma. After that, your atoms will become food for WR102. Based on this, we can conclude that this star is a real monster that feeds on anything that gets too close to it. So don't even think about swimming in it. It will be a real death for you. If you like videos like this, subscribe to the channel. We often wonder what would happen if we fell into a black hole. However, there is a much more interesting object in space that we will talk about next. See you soon. The idea of falling into a star might seem like a plot from an sci-fi movie, but it's something that has probably crossed the minds of many people who have gazed up at the night sky and wondered about what lies beyond our planet. Well, today we're going to take that idea and run with it. We'll explore what would happen if you fell into a star and hopefully learn a thing or two about these celestial objects along the way. Falling to your death in slow motion. First, let's talk about what a star actually is. Stars are giant balls of hot gas that produce light and heat through nuclear fusion. They come in a wide variety of sizes and temperatures, and our Sun is just one example of the many stars that exist in the universe. If you were to fall into a star, you wouldn't actually be falling in the traditional sense. That's because there's no gravity outside of a star. Gravity is what pulls us towards the center of the Earth and keeps us from floating away into space. Without gravity, you wouldn't be able to stand up straight or even walk on the surface of a star. Instead, you'd feel like you were weightless and floating in mid-air. You would also see some pretty amazing things as you floated through a star. Stars are made up of different layers, each with its own unique properties. The core is where nuclear fusion takes place, and the intense pressure and heat create the perfect conditions for hydrogen to turn into helium. As you passed through the core, you'd see giant balls of hot plasma swirling around you. As you move further away from the core, the temperature and pressure would start to decrease. You'd eventually reach the radiative zone, where energy is transported from the core to the surface through radiation. Here you'd see less dramatic activity than in the core, but you'd still be able to see the beautiful glow of the star's inner layers. Finally, you'd reach the surface of the star, which is also known as the photosphere. This is the layer that gives the star its visible light, and is what we see from Earth. When you reached the photosphere, you'd feel the heat from the star's burning gases on your body. And depending on the size of the star, you might be able to see the surface of our solar system's other stars. It wouldn't be all smooth sailing, though. As you floated through a star, you'd be met with some pretty dangerous conditions. The high temperatures could melt and vaporize anything in its path, including your spaceship or any equipment you were wearing. In fact, you'd probably be met with so much heat resistance that your body would be burned to a crisp before you even reached the surface of the star. Even if you were able to survive the journey through a star, you wouldn't be for long. Eventually, you'd run out of oxygen, and the only thing left to do would be to float around in a giant ball of burning gas until you suffocated. So if you ever find yourself falling towards a star, don't worry too much. It's not the end of the world. Just make sure to bring a spacesuit next time. In all seriousness, though, falling into a star is something that has probably crossed the minds of many people who have gazed up at the night sky and wondered about what lies beyond our planet. While it might seem like a fun idea to daydream about, it's important to remember that stars are incredibly dangerous places. So next time you look up at the stars, just remember that they're not just pretty lights in the sky. They're giant balls of burning gas that can melt and vaporize anything that gets too close. However, this scenario does raise some interesting questions about the nature of gravity and what it would be like to experience weightlessness in such an extreme environment. If you were able to survive the intense heat and pressure of a star, what would you see when you looked up? Would you see the Earth as a tiny dot in the distance, or would it be completely out of view? How would you feel knowing that you were floating in the middle of a star? It's fun to think about these hypothetical situations because they allow us to explore the unknown and what might be possible. But it's also important to remember that stars are awe-inspiring celestial objects that we should be grateful to have in our night sky. They provide us with light and warmth and are a constant reminder of the beauty and wonder of the universe. So next time you look up at the stars, take a moment to appreciate their beauty and remember that, while falling into one might make for a fun movie, it's definitely not something to aspire to in real life. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Until next time, keep looking up.